G'day, today's brew day. We've got everything laid out here that we need. We've got our malt mix, our Cooper's kits. In these Cooper's kits, when you get them, you'll find instructions. If this is your first time making beer, it's a good idea to read these. Just have a quick read. It's pretty basic, straightforward how to do it, all your instructions and stuff like that. Now, we're going to do some sanitisation first. Got our sanitiser here. Got my hose and everything set up over here. We'll come back in a minute and we'll start brewing. Okay, now it's time for sterilising. I've put 10 mils of my sterilising agent, this stuff here, into this barrel. We're going to fill it up with about 7 litres of water. Alright, so I've got my bucket here. What I use, I've just made up this little adapter on my hose. Just got a little tap on it there. Turn her on. A bit of splash, it's alright. Now we are on the side of the barrels. All these barrels with markers here. And they're pretty much spot on. That's what I use to measure to do my measurements in large volumes. So we're at 5 litres now. 6, 7 litres, there we go. So, let's move this. Now what we do is, this is very foamy. I don't know whether you can see inside the barrel there or not, but it's pretty foamy, that stuff. Alright. Now, we put our lid on. Have our lid here. Screw it up pretty tight so we don't want crap everywhere. Give it a shake. Righto. Now I always just run a little bit out of me valve here just to make sure. Alright, we've done that. Now, because I'm doing 3 batches of beer today, I've got 2 Cooper's kits and I'm making a lager as well. What we want to do is transfer this into the next barrel pretty much. In the next barrel I've got ready to go. See, that's all foamy there. Foam's touched it, sterilised. Pretty easy. Alright. Now, in the next barrel I've got here are all my implements. I've got my airlocks, my can opener, my scissors, my tube for my hydrometer, my spoon. I'm going to tip it into here, and when we swish this around in here, all this stuff will be sterilised. That's pretty straightforward. You'll see the foam come out. And we forgot to turn the tap off. It's okay. It's not the first time and it will not be the last. Alright. We'll just move our bags of malt mix out of the water there. They're still sealed, so it's alright. Just don't do it with your beer, because if you start losing beer, that's not good. Alright, so we'll get this bit of a mix up in here. Everything's sterilised. I'll grab a cloth, give me a second. Just use these cloths here, throw them away. I get them cheap at Audi or Bunnings, any of them. Just give everything, make sure everything touches the foam. Touches the foam, it's sterilised, alright? Now what we'll do, I have washed my hands before I've done this as well, so it's not too bad. I've got a little drying rack here. I'll take everything out and put it on our drying rack. Tip this upside down in the sink. Alright. Dig deep. It's all covered in foam. That's what we want to see. Airlocks. Now this foam is non-rinse. You do not have to rinse it, they say. I tend to give things a little bit of a rinse if it's got too much foam on it, just so I can see what the hell I'm doing. And I always rinse out my airlocks, because if you get too much bubble action when your beer's fermenting, you'll get it'll start bubbling out and you might lose some of your water. You don't want your germs getting into the beer, so you don't want to bubbling out too much. All right, that's everything out of there. Bang the lid on. And again, repeat the process. I've got another barrel to do here as well. I'll do that in a minute, and we'll come back shortly and we'll start the brewing process. Righto. Now we're back in this pot over here. Just got a boiler pot that I use sometimes for different beers. I've got a can of extract. It's one of these Cooper's cans. What I've done is I've just got it sitting in the hot water, just so we can soften it up a bit because it's pretty thick, and the quicker we get it out, the better. All right. So we'll pull that out now. It's been softening up for a little while. All right. I've also peeled the label off it. All right, because I have found with the can opener sometimes it'll drag the paper around because you put it in the water. You end up with, you don't want that in going in your beer either because it's not been sterilised. All right. So we'll open this up quickly. It's like treacle. Dip it in. Pours out pretty quick when you've softened it up a bit. Alright. Make sure your tap's closed now. Make sure it's closed. Had a couple of water mishaps today. We don't want any more. Another thing is too, when you're brewing, if you're using a hose like this, you need to make sure you don't get any taste of the beer, taste of the hose through your beer. I know it sounds strange, but sometimes with hoses, cheap hoses and that, you'll get a rubber taste through the hose, and you don't want that. It'll, it's going to make your beer taste shit, so you don't want that. All right, just put a bit more water in this because what we'll do is we'll top our water level up. I use the kettle to do me water and stuff, so I don't have a hot water system out here. You can just use hot water out of your hot water system, but I'm a bit far from the house out here in the shed, so I just keep using the kettle. Alright, so we'll get our spoon and just run that around inside your tin a little bit, just to get that bit off the edges. All this is in your instructions you get with your cans of malt extract, and these are just Cooper's draught malt extract kits. That's all they are. Put your spoon in there now. I've got a bit of paper towel and that here, a bit of clean paper towel on the table just so I can sit my implements on so they don't get crap all over them, because I've sterilised everything. I just run that over the lid, cleans the lid off as well. It's all pretty much out of there now. Throw that in the bin. I've got a few of them tins lying around the shed as ashtrays, so that's always handy, but unless you're if you're a smoker. Alright, now we have a bag of malt extract here. Cut the top off that, also sterilised with the scissors. Alright, now malt extract, it's white, there's bits of yellow in there depending on what sort of extract kit you get. You see as you pour it in, it's yellow, that's the malt in there, that's part of the malt mix. So this is dextrose and malt, dry malt I call it. So shake that out, get all the goodness out of there. I find the malt gives you a nice nice flavour in your beer. I don't like a real hoppy beer, so I always use, I like a more malty beer. So give this a bit of a stir. There are other brands of malt mix and stuff you can get that are on the market. I find Cooper's Brew Enhancer 2 to be good. I've not ever had a problem with that, and that's about it. Now what happens in the barrel here is, because I haven't put the extra bit of hot water in yet, it's a bit thick, and I'm getting some dough balls in there, which is the malt and the dextrose is forming clumps. I use a spoon with a hole, with the holes in it. Once I get a bit more water in here, they'll start to dissolve, and we'll be right. This water should be hot enough by now. Yep. Pour that in. Now my kettle is 1.7 litres. Alright, now while I'm doing my beer, I usually put the can, which is 1.7, plus the kettle, They say to use about 3 litres of water. It's not a very warm day, so the hose is running pretty cold. I'm gonna just boil up a little bit more water, and that'll give us just enough heat. This is enough hot water now. I'm going to add cold water to it, and if we need to top it up with some more hot water, the water will be ready to go. So we'll just give it a good stir. At this stage, you want to try and get air in there as well. I tend to try and get a good bit of foam happening on the top of the beer. It sort of gives the yeast a bit of oxygen as well when you pour the yeast in. So that's pretty much all dissolved now. We'll top this up with cold water. Now today, we want to get this to 27 litres. 23 litres. 27, bit extreme. So we'll start filling this up with cold water. We're about halfway and I'll stop. That's about half now. Bloody flies. Give it a good stir up. Make sure everything's dissolved. On the side of the barrels here, I don't know if you can see that, there's a temperature gauge here. I usually stick on temperature gauges. I find them pretty good. I've also got an external gauge that I check every once in a while with, just to see if they're, going pretty spot on. And these ones are good. I replace them every 6 months or so just to be sure. So, just had a couple more lumps come up as I was filling, so we'll just make sure they're all out before we keep going while it's still hot. Alright. Now also, that's 27 litres of beer. I'm a big bloke, I can lift it over there. But if you're not a big person, it's a good idea to lift it over to your bench. I brew on the bench over here where the kettle is. If you don't want to lift that up when it's full, you might want to move it over there now before it gets too heavy. So I'll move it over there now. There's about 10 litres in there at the moment. And we'll keep filling. So as you scale up on the scale, there's 5 litres, 10 litres, 15, 20. I'm going to 23. So it's just here. Alright, so we'll keep going. So I'm going to stop at 20 because we want to make sure our temperature's okay. So it's at 20 now. Alright. Now, our temperature's still showing pretty high at the moment. It's up here around 32 degrees. That's not good. We don't want that high. So we won't be adding any more hot water into this batch. A bit more cold water. And that's 23 litres there. Alright. The temperature is still pretty high, so what we'll do is we'll pop the lid on that and we'll come back to it shortly. Okay, we're back again. Now I've just given my spoon a bit of a wash. Now I always keep sanitizer in one of these spray bottles, and we'll give that a bit of a soak, a bit of a spray. Kids have been playing with my sanitizer bucket container. Give it a bit of spray, just to be sure we got no germs. We don't want any germs on anything. Now what I've got here, don't put it in there. Put it on there. Okay, what I've got here is the beer findings. Get these any homebrew shop. These are made for 23 litres of beer. You put them in there and it makes all your yeast and everything at the end of the fermenting process in your wort, makes it all come to the bottom. Alright, you must mix this. It's like a gelatin. It's very, very thick. You must mix it with hot water. So here's our kettle that's been boiling over here. Pour that into there. This is just one of my beer glasses I use all the time to do this. Give it a good stir. Good stir. It sticks. I use this glass so I don't have to touch it because it's bloody hot. I don't know if you can see that. It's sort of got a yellow colour. It sticks to the edge of the glass, so I just use the same glasses all the time for it. Give it a good stir. You've got to dissolve it. Alright, tip that in. We just tip that in, and that'll start working itself as it goes along. Alright, now we've got our yeast. Now this is a personal preference. Whether you want to stir your yeast, stir it in when you do your yeast, or whether you want to just leave it sit on top. Personally, I do it both ways, so it doesn't really matter. I've had no dramas with doing it both ways. But sprinkle it in over the top, so it's a nice even sort of layer. Get all them little yeasties out of there. Put them all out. Okay, throw that in the bin. Now what I do is just get my spoon, we've sterilised that again, and just give it a little flick of the foam, just to get a little bit of hydration on it. Now you can stir the barrel, doesn't really matter. I just use the tip of the spoon just to give it a bit of, make it a bit wet, that's all. Alright. Alright, now we'll chuck that back in the sink. Screw the lid on. Again, this has been sanitised again. Sometimes, you know, it's been out in the open for a little while because we have to wait for the beer to cool, for the wort to cool down. Once it gets under around 28 degrees, you're right to go. Alright, now, just give my airlock a bit of a rinse here because, like I said before, I don't like the airlocks getting having too much foam on them. Alright. Now we'll stick our airlock in the top here. You know what? Use the wrong airlock. This type of airlock's the one we use. That's a two-piece airlock. This barrel, for some reason, the hole is a little bit bigger, and the SBN airlocks don't seem to sit in there properly. They don't seem to get a good seal. So I just use one of these two-piece airlocks. Alright. It's a nice tight fit now. Tight like a tiger. Alright, grab our hose. We just want to put a little bit of water in that. I don't know whether you can see this or not, but literally about 2 centimetres of water in this type of airlock. We put our top on. Now, to make sure we've got a good seal, just push down on the top of your lid for a little bit. You'll see the water level rise and hold it. If that water level stays at that level, you've got a good seal. Because if you haven't got a good seal, stuff can come in. You can get germs and natural born yeast and stuff like that that'll come in and try and infect your beer. You don't want that because we've sterilised everything, so the only thing that's going to infect our beer is our packets of yeast. Our packets of yeast we use the thing is an infection. It infects the beer. It creates two products, which is carbon dioxide, which comes out of your airlock, and alcohol. The alcohol we want to keep because that's what we want. Alright, so that's pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a couple more barrels and I'll talk again at the end. Alright, we've taken our gravity reading, 42, 44, roundabout, so 1042. Got a calculator on my phone, I'll work out the gravity, but it should come out at around 4.5. Alright. When I do the final gravity reading, I'll let you know when I do a bit of a tasting on these couple of brews. Now I've had a mishap with the barrel. had to swap over barrels on this second one. I've topped it up to 25 litres, but I've added more malt and dextrose. Alright, so that was not checking my gear properly. As you can see, it's already, the airlock's already going on this one. And I'll check it again in a couple of days. Usually takes around about 7 days. Check your gravity again. Get it as low as you can if it stays the same for a couple of days. That's it. And that's it from me today. Cheers. Enjoy your beer.